What's up, guys? This is Dave back with another installment here. We've got Pepper. We're using Pepper like a truck, putting this truck to work. The initial goal that I wanted was something I could just take to the hardware store, drive around if I got to go pick something up, throw stuff in the bed. Obviously, the bed right now is just a piece of plywood, as a bed floor, but it's holding up together fine. It drives great. We got it registered, got it on the road. We've got our seat belts installed. We've got 3-point seat belts right now. All the lights are functioning. It drives great, really. The engine drives great, as you heard on the last video. And so we're just kind of driving this thing around. I'm tootling around with it. You even got a light over the license plate. Got this thing official. But last weekend, we took it out, and you can see here, we piled some lumber in it, went to the hardware store, and got some T111, and got some 2x4s and some screws, threw some tools in the back of it, and we put this thing to work. And backed up actually at my mom's house. She had a shed that's probably 20 plus years old now, and the siding was falling apart. So she said, hey, I want you to come out and do some work. So you can see here on the side, we start out with just a quick hole in the bottom where some animal got hungry and really wanted some shade and some cover, I guess, and burrowed its way into the side. So we had patched that for a little bit, but anyway, it was just kind of falling apart. And then the doors here, they don't look too hectic from afar, but when you get up close here, you can see at the bottom, the whole bottom was kind of rotten and falling apart. And the little cross pieces were starting to kind of fall out of the siding. So it was just time to put a refresh on the shed. The frame was in great shape. The body and inside was great. Never had any water problems with it. So we said, let's do it. So you can see here, we started out by just kind of day one, pulling the siding off, getting down to the frame on this one side. And you can see down at the bottom too, we had to pull out some of the decking boards, and we wanted to put in a proper flashing when we finished up. So you can see here, we've got the siding put up. We've got our gable siding put in, and kind of left it like that for the most part. We did get our flashing put in at the bottom, and you can see here we've got the gable. I don't even know what that's called, but it's just the break point between the top of the gable and the bottom of the siding, just to keep it sealed up. So we ran a bead of caulk across that even before we painted, just to keep the water out, and got the decking boards put back in there with the flashing properly put in place. And so that side we called done, and we took a lunch break and came back and did a door. And so, the doors early on were just kind of falling apart. So here we ended day one with doing the left door, obviously, and tried to match up the cross beams as much as we could with the angle of what they were. Obviously, we're rebuilding both doors, so it doesn't really matter. But so we ended day one with getting that first door put up, and that was a good success. So then we kind of started day two. We came out. You see here we punched out the second door and got that all lined up. So now obviously our cross pieces at the bottom of the door line up, because hey, we made it. We get to determine what it looks like. So we got all that there done and completed. We got the first side done. You even see we put our ridge vent in, and we've got our two doors. And then we move on to the opposing side, because that opposing side was not quite as bad. It didn't have any animal holes in it, but still needed to be attended to. So I didn't obviously shoot any pictures of that. We did the same process, got it down to the frame, put back up the T111. This is the pre-primed T111. Got our ridge vent in. You can see we've even got the trim up across the roof line, and got all that in and caulked up everything just to make sure it was secure. No water was going to get in. There was a chance of rain, but it actually held off. So when we come back the next day, actually 2 days later, and midweek, and if you know me, you know I don't paint. I try to stay away from the painting. I let the professionals do it. My wife paints, my mom paints, and so she came out happily, painted up the doors, painted up the sides, got them all good to go. And so you can see kind of the finished product here. We've got it all nice and pretty, painted up. Looks like the original shed, just with new doors and new sides. So that's it for this video. Just kind of a quick project for us, a couple days over the weekend, kind of an extended weekend project. But having fun, just driving this truck, getting it out on the road. And I think there's some other things I'm gonna end up doing with this truck. I got maybe some other plans, because it drives great, but when you get it on the interstate, you know, and you start pushing it to 55, maybe 60 miles an hour, that 3-speed and that inline 6 are just screaming. And so I'm maybe looking for an overdrive to put on it, maybe looking for a different rear end. I'm not quite sure yet at this point, but for right now, that's the video. It was a quick project, and we'll see you in the next one.